my lovely YouTubers, it's me, Morgan Tracy J, coming today to talk to you all about help, I don't believe in God anymore. Actually, this is a question that I recently got on my website from a lady. And as I began to write her back, I started to realize how I have once been in this season. In the beginning of this year, I posted a video called Going Through the Valley, Dealing with Depression and Isolation. What I was really saying was, guys, I have been in a season where I felt like God was silent, and every question that I asked God, and every time I looked for an answer, and every time doubt dropped seeds into my mind, I was seeking Him, but I was not being fed. It's almost like my fire had went away. It's almost like every question that was coming up and everything that was coming against my faith was actually winning. I remember there were times I would cry out to God and say, just give me something to believe in. I want to believe in you. I'm working to believe in you. But God, I'm seeing all these new things and people are telling me you're wrong and this is this. God, help me. And so what I want to talk to you today is about how do you overcome that season when you don't believe in God anymore? How do you keep walking by faith when you have no faith? How do you keep walking this walk and trusting in God when you don't even know if God is real anymore? How do you do that? Well, first off, I need you to do is you need to have an awareness. When I say awareness, you got to acknowledge that it's better to be one day in His house than 1,000 elsewhere. What that just means is, God, there is no other route but you. I remember in college when I said, God, I don't want to do this with you anymore. I don't know you. I don't even know if you're real anymore. I just want to live my life the way I want to live it. And so I remember I closed my Bible at that time and I said, I'm going to this event. I got dressed up and I was at an event for 20 minutes. And within the first 20 minutes, I realized that there was no other house to be in but God's house. I realized that I could try to run back to this world, but I'm still not going to be accepted because of the wisdom that I had gained. I realized that there is no place for somebody that lives to be walking in dead places. I realized that I had gained wisdom and spiritual understanding that there was no other place to go. I couldn't go back to an old lifestyle. I couldn't go back to old teachings and doctrine. I couldn't go back to old sexual escapades. I couldn't go back to things like that. I had to continue to walk with God even when I didn't believe in Him. That is one of the hardest things, guys, is to continue to walk with God even when everything in your heart and everything in your mind is saying He is not real. This is just all made up. The first thing that helped me was I had to realize that there was no other place to go. The second thing that I had to realize, guys, was I had to realize I needed to guard my heart. I was listening and being taught things that was planting the seeds of doubt. I was listening to friends and listening to certain teachings and doctrine that was making me doubt the presence of God. I was listening to certain things that didn't really line up to my beliefs, and my things were being fully tested. And what I want to tell you today is, how do you ever know you can truly walk with God if your faith has never been tested? The only way we can truly please God is through our faith. So what I had to learn is that there was a testing going on, because I need to see, was I really true to God, or was I just true to God to be the God that I wanted Him to be? The God that comforted me when I was down, the God that I just wanted Him to be, that gave me a good feeling inside when I was walking with Him. But God said, I want to give you something more than just a feeling. I want to let you experience me, but will you still serve God even when you can't believe in Him? That has been one of the biggest challenges I've ever faced. And what I want to say is the third thing that happened, is, you know what? I finally got to a place where I just said, you know what? I'm going to bear my cross even if I can't believe. I'm going to wake up daily, and even if I don't have the patience to get into my word, I'm still going to bear this cross. I'm still going to carry my cross. I'm going to deny myself. I'm going to push past this, because how can you truly say you walk and you have faith in God if you can't overcome the testing of your faith? These are just going to be tests. All it is a test, and what we have to do is we have to pass it. And what I had to learn and understand is that God was just walking with me. He was leading me. He was guiding me the whole time as I thought I was alone. It was just that He was silent. It didn't mean I was by myself. It just meant God was silent. And that's what I've had to learn through these years and through that season of when I doubted God, when I stepped away from my YouTube channel for like 3 months because I couldn't even teach on the Word of God because all the affliction that was going on inside. I remember every time I would get up to speak a sermon and people would be fed, I would come back more empty and saying, God, they would tell, oh my gosh, Morgan, you've given me so much hope. Thank you so much. And I would cry out to God and say, where is my person? Who's going to speak into me? Who's going to give me help. God, I'm drowning here. I need your help. I would say these things to God, and he was quiet for 6 months. 6 months I went through this valley, and I would cry and tell God, I'm barely hanging on. I want this. I want to believe in this. And what I want to tell you guys is it was a challenge. It took everything out of me to continue. But what I realized, it was through the faith of God, and what I had to hold on to was the goodness that God had been giving me. The goodness that had happened in my life prior to this valley. The blessings and the confirmation, the revelation that nobody can take from me, because I know that was the hand of God. The protection and the guidance that has been given to me through the previous seasons and the lessons that I knew had to be God. So that's what I had to lean on. I had to remember the goodness that God has put upon my family. I had to remember the blessings that he guided me through storms and helped me through fires. I had to remember the God that I was serving before the storm, before the valley. I had to remember that God. And when I began to tie in and press into the God that guided me and protected me and brought me out of all kinds of mindsets, that has healed me and delivered me, when I started to press into that God, my season ended, because I had passed the test. I had overcame the challenge. I had got out of the valley, and I could finally see the light of day. Was all my questions answered within one moment? It was answered within a blink of an eye. Every doubt that I had, every fear that laid within my heart was answered. And what I want to tell you today is God will answer. You have to have the faith to withstand the testing. Do you have enough faith to believe in him even when you're tired? Do you have enough faith to deny yourself and carry your cross even when you don't even have a mustard seed of faith? Do you have enough strength to say, I'm going to get up and serve you today, God? And even when you don't know how to do it, just say, Lord, I will trust you. Lord, I will trust you. Lord, I will trust you. I don't know how many seasons I've been in where I had to say, Lord, I will just trust you. And what I want to tell you today, if you've ever found yourself in a season where you have doubted God, when you said, God will not do this, when you've doubted the vision, when you've doubted the calling, when you've doubted the gift, when you've doubted the confirmation, when you've doubted the revelation of God, when you find yourself in that season, you get aware that there was no other place better than the house of your Father. Just as the prodigal son, he came to his senses and realized there was no other place better than his Father's house. The next thing is you got to guard your heart. Protect your fire from the things that are trying to turn it out. Protect your heart from wolves in sheep clothing. Protect your heart from false doctrine. Guide your ears, because it says the sheep know his voice, right? His sheep know his voice. So make sure you're targeting your ears to only hear the voice of God. You have to have the spirit of discernment to know what is good and what is not. The next thing is you got to walk this walk and believe and understand that you have to deny yourself even when everything is telling you to walk away from God. You may feel a sense to walk away from God. Your mind might say, this isn't even real. I need to walk away. Deny yourself that and say, I'm going to serve you, Lord. Even when everyone may laugh at me. Even when my mind can't even understand or grasp these things, I'm going to walk with you. When you decide that, then you will overcome your test and you will get out of that valley. When you remember the goodness of God in the previous seasons, how his mighty gracious hand was upon you in your hurt, in your darkest hours, in your family's darkest hours, in your financial depression, in everything that was going on in your life, how God's hand had blessed you, how he's given you certain confirmation in the late night hour that nobody can take away from you. That's what God is saying. Believe and remember the goodness of God, because when you lean upon his goodness and you remember the goodness of him, the vision he's given you, when you believe in those things, you will come out of your valley. And the doubt that you feel, you will not feel anymore. The doubt you have inside of God, that will go away. There might come questions that you can't answer, but you have to remember to say, I trust you, Lord, even when I don't even know the answer. I trust you, Lord. I trust you. And that's the overall goal, guys. Down below, if you click a link, you can get some of my top favorite Bible verses for anybody who's going through isolation, depression, and anything, just to get yourself built back up and, just to help you guys. So you can click it down below and get a free download. And last but not least, I love you, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.